All right, well, welcome everyone to our May DTL webinar. Today's topic, we're going to be doing a Google demo. You're going to see each of the members of our digital learning team demonstrate some quick tips or tricks related to different Google tools. But before we get to that, just a few announcements to go over. If you or any of the teachers you work with have been doing the digital learning professional development classes during this part of the year, the last part, the professional development training plan, is coming up due on May 19th. So if you have teachers that are working on that, they are instructed to work with their digital coaches, their instructional coaches, to plan that. So you may want to check in with them, see if they're working on that, so they can get that planned and done before the 19th. We are planning on offering more professional learning classes in the summer, so look for a future announcement about that. So you'll get details about that. We wanted to highlight again the Jordan Journey podcast. Our latest episode was with Eric Price, who is the principal at Fort Harriman Middle School, about digital citizenship. It's called Moving the Needle Forward, or Moving the Needle for Students. And then there'll be a new episode coming out. I think it's next week. I said this week, but I believe it will be next week. So we'll look for that. One thing we wanted to highlight is there is a Canvas users event that is happening on May 19th. And there's some details. My link is gone. There's some details that I can show you that are about that. But for anyone who has like a regular classroom that you'll be teaching on that Friday, you would have to get a sub to go to that. For those that are instructional coaches full-time, that might be something that you could do without looking for a sub, but there is some information about that. And then on here it says, if you already know that you are not going to be returning as the digital coach next year, please let your digital learning specialist know. We do need to collect the devices that are from DTL from you, so keep that in mind. And then our last announcement is the DTL Spring 23 grant survey has been sent out to those that have previously participated in the survey. So if people haven't gotten like the survey, then they don't need to go. You don't need to send anything out. It's just those that have already participated. We're getting responses from them. And now we'll get started with our Google demo. This is the order that we're going to go in. So we will go ahead and get started with Ross.
All right, so I'm going to talk about two things with Gmail. We're going to talk about signatures and out-of-office response. I think this is something that a lot of people know of, but might not know how to do it. So in your Gmail, you just go open up your Gmail, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the little gear icon that you click on. And when you click on that gear icon, it opens up this next screenshot on the slide. And then you click on See All Settings. Once you do that, See All Settings, it then goes to maybe it is not doing it, Colby. To this settings page. And you just have, it automatically opens up to the general, and you just scroll all the way almost to the bottom when you'll see signatures. And all you have to do is right in here, you just click on the create new, and it gives you a title here so you can go in and edit the title. And then over here in the edit box is where you go and click. Is my pointer not showing on the screen?
Oh, it's showing.
Okay. And so
your pointer won't show, Ross. If you want me to point somewhere, I can point. But
okay.
you can advance the slides with that link.
I have that open. It's not advancing when I do it.
It's
That's
just a little slow.
So anyways, needless to say, you can come in here and create any signature you want. You can see here that I have just created a new signature in Canva, which is an amazing program that you can use to create a signature and drag and drop and change colors and text and images. And they have hundreds of templates that you can choose from that you can do that. And so I called it my new professional. Then I also have one that's called professional and the one that's called Ross. Down below, you will see signature details. So on any new email, it uses my new professional signature that just defaults in there. But if I like I send it to the person and they hit reply and it comes back to me, and then I hit reply and goes back to them, it then sends just the blank one that says Ross. Okay. So that is how you create an easy signature. And then let's say you're in an email. So the next, let's see if it will advance. Oh, it did. If you are typing an email, so you're actually here, you'll see I have my professional one. If you click the little teeny pencil down here, you can change and say, oh, I don't want my professional one because maybe I'm the advisor of a club at school, or maybe I'm the drama club advisor, or I'm the volleyball coach, and I have a signature set up that says I'm the coach or the volleyball person. I can change it to the volleyball signature, and then that would send it out in there. So that's signatures. The last thing I want to show you is it's on the same page. Let's see if it will go. There it goes. On the same page, right at the very bottom, is out of the office. And all you have to do is you just turn out of office on. You pick the first day, the end day, and the subject. And then in the body, you can tell exactly what you want. Like, hey, I'm not going to be here for the next few days. Call this number for help or check this website. And then you just hit save changes and voila. There is Google or Gmail.
Awesome. Thanks, Ross. And he did it in under 3 minutes. I only give you 3 because I started the timer late and you still beat the clock. Okay, we'll now go to Jamboard, and Tracy, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. While I'm sharing my screen, you'll be really excited to know there's going to be a pun coming up. So here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. By the end of this, if you're not saying that's my Jamboard, I'm going to be really disappointed. So Jamboard is an interactive digital whiteboard, and it's found in the waffle. And so we all have it on our computers, which is great. It's great for a lot of things. I love to use it for like questions of the day and like class discussions and community building, but you could really use it like so many different ways. The tools are pretty simple on Jamboard. They're draw, erase, select, add a sticky, add an image, add a shape, add a text, and laser pointer, which is everyone's favorite because it's going to point some lasers, right? So when I'd first start out with Jamboard, I would just have the kids use, or adults, whoever's using this, the drawing tool. And over here, you can choose the thickness of your drawing tool. You can choose the color. That's really important to me. So true or false, I use Jamboard in my classroom. There's some true, there's some false. If you want to erase everybody's answer, you can come up here on the left-hand side to clear frame. All these cute backgrounds I made in Canva. Jamboard has one font, which is a bummer, but these took like really not that long to make. And so pretty great. So this would be a great community building one. Like, would you rather eat a slug, eat a worm? And so on the name part, I wrote, type your name on a sticky note. So this is getting them to use a sticky. And then they can put it somewhere. I don't want to eat, I guess, a worm because it would just slide down, I hope. Like fingers crossed on that one. Okay. So this other one I was thinking about, like 4th grade, even 1st grade, I feel like could do this. So using the shape tool, which is this circle right here, add a shape that has 4 sides. I left this pretty open-ended. I'm going to click this square, and then I could draw a square or a rectangle. And if we have extra time, up here on the left-hand side, on the top, is a fill, and you can go fill it in and be really fancy. So this is really just going to take us through all the wonderful tools on the side. So this is an anchor chart, and I was like, what could we do with an anchor chart in Jamboard? So a noun is a person, place, thing, or animal. Could anybody give me a noun, and I'll find a Google image for it to put on this Jamboard? Do You could even type one in the chat. Or I'll just intuit something someone said. Rabbit. Okay, that's what I heard. I'll just type in. You can see right here. Going to Google Images. Rabbit. And it'll show a whole bunch of cute rabbits. And so your students could come and practice nouns on here. Here's my tricks and tips for Jamboard. So it works almost just like slides. You can't advance unless you're up here touching these carrots on the top. Like I like to advance on my computer, but it doesn't work like that. Whatever you want to be your background, you just need to set it to the background so it won't get changed. Like I can draw like all over this guy and then clear it out. But if I just like put it on a sticky or typed it on there, the whole frame would clear out. So you can share this via Canvas, like email, Google Classroom, a QR code, a bit.ly, and then create your backgrounds in Canva. Or Teachers Pay Teachers has a whole bunch of super cute backgrounds. The only limit to Jamboard is there's 20 slides max. So don't go more than 20 slides. And that's it. I hope everybody says that's my jam in your heart.
Someone's advanced. Okay. All right. Well, next we have Bonnie. Hold on. Let's go back to her beginning. Who's going to do sheets?
Okay, hi. That arrow doesn't seem to be working for me. Is it working?
Or
Okay, great. A lot of times when teachers download lists from Skyward of students, well, I don't think a lot of times, I think 100% of the time the names are in uppercase. And if you want to change names from uppercase to lowercase or any other case, what you'd want to do is, I have some names here in column A. So the first one is Emmeline. And so can I be, no, okay. So I'd put my cursor in cell B1, and then I would just type equal to proper, like in proper name. And then you indicate cell A1. I have a video on the next slide that shows it to you. And then you just hit enter. Now, if you, for example, wanted to lowercase the name, you would type equal lower. Just remember in slides in Excel, every formula starts with an equal sign. And it doesn't matter if you type lower and upper in capital letters, that's irrelevant. All right, so let's look at the next slide. And here's a little video showing that in this cell, I'm saying equals proper, and then I click on cell A1 and then end it with a parentheses and then goes all the way down. So that is how teachers can get the names in proper case, meaning, capital first name, capital last name. All right, perfect. The next one we're going to go to is splitting text to columns. So now we have the student names in column A. And what we want to do is have the first names in column A and the last names in column B. So this is just a real simple one. And you would just select column A. There's going to be a video on the next slide. You just select column A and you go up to your data. Did I click tools? Oh, it's data. And yeah, so that arrow should be over a little bit. So then you go down to split text to columns, and voila, your text will be in columns. There will be, when you choose text to columns, Google's going to say, what do you want your separator to be? In this case, it was a space. So here's the video right here where I selected the column. Then I went up to data. Oh, that's going fast. That was easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Go to data, down to split text to columns, and then your separator, choose whatever your separator is. All right. And I think I have one more, but I can't remember. Yeah. So concatenate I just learned today. I speak Spanish, and here's what I learned. The word in Spanish is cadena, means chain. In Latin is catena, and the concatenate actually started out without the con on there. So I learned that today. Anyway, so to concatenate some information, just to put it together like in a chain. And so I have in column A, Emmeline, column B, man, and I wanted to put those together with something else. And so the formula for concatenate, you always start with the equal sign. Then you click on the first cell that you want to use, and then a comma. Between each of these, you'll put a comma. And then I had a period in quotes, cell B, and then I put at 123.com in quotes. Text goes in quotes. A period is a text. And then you hit return or enter, and whoosh, it'll go all the way down. And of course, you could make some labels from that if you needed to. So we talked about cases, splitting text, and concatenate. Oh, bam, there's the video. Just showing you how to concatenate. All right.
All right. Thank you, Bonnie. We will now do forms with Larissa.
I can't hear Larissa, sorry.
Yeah, she's working on it. We cannot hear you still.
Okay, let's try that.
There we go.
Okay, awesome. All right, so you're going to go to Google Forms by going through your waffle, and then you're going to go hit Forms when you're in your waffle. From your waffle, you can go to your different forms, like you can use forms for quizzes, collecting info like your t-shirt sizes, parents info, or what kind of pizza people want. And even get to know you forms are done quickly and easily through forms. When you get to a form, you're going to want to see that there's a blank quiz. Well, you want to change that label. Make sure you change it to something that you could find. So I chose 80s rock band, and I'm going to title my form and then add a quick description. And then on the side, or there's the right-hand side, there's all those different ways that you can import another form. You can change the text size. You can add a picture or an image to your description. You can add a video to your description. You can also add another section to your forms. So once you're in your forms, you decide what kind of question do I want to ask. So you choose the drop down, and you will come up with all these. You get short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop downs. You see them all there. Make your decision. For this example, I chose to do multiple choice. So I titled it 80s rock band, and then you ask your question. What's your 80s favorite 80s rock band? Which one's the best? Then I listed all my rock bands, and then on the side you can add a question. So it's not Rush, Jared. So that is the wrong answer. Now on this, each rock band, you could add a question or a picture to that, which is super helpful if you're doing quizzes. So I've added Guns N' Roses image there. Now you can make this required or not by clicking that drop down button there. Now you can do answer feedbacks. This is making a quiz. So I'm going to add which question is correct. So the correct question is Bon Jovi. I'm going to add my points, and then I could choose feedback and give them feedback when they get the correct answer. When I hit save, then I can move on to my quiz. I could do this 3 ellipses, that more button. That's going to give me an opportunity to do a description. I can shuffle the order, or I can go to the selection based on my answer. I'll show you what that looks like. So I've chosen Bon Jovi as my answer. So I tell them when they choose the right one, they're going to go to section 3. If they choose the wrong one, they're going to go to selection that says so close, but choose again. So you see that, so close, or you're a rock star. And I will show you what that looks like. So I want to preview it to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. When I look at it, I can see that I've got all of my bands listed there with their picture and their image, and I'm going to purposely click AC/DC, which is the wrong answer. When I click the wrong answer, then it's going to pop up with, oh, so close, choose again. Well, then I can choose Bon Jovi, which is the correct answer. Hit next. And it's going to say, you're a rock star. So then on the final thing, I'm going to add my settings. This is where I could choose whether I'm going to select their emails to be addressed to me, how often they can address the questions, how many times they can submit the form. The next part is I'm going to choose to send it. When I send it, I can do email. I could do text. I could do it by a form. I could do it by link, and I can also do it by embed. I could say whether I'm collecting their email addresses here as well. Now, here's how I get to see the responses. When I'm back at the top, I see the response button. I click on the response button. It's going to ask me if I want to link it to Sheets, which I do, and I'm going to be able to see their results. Now I can choose my settings of my forms, and then I am done. 13 seconds to spare.
All right, well done, Larissa. Now it's my turn to talk about slides, and I'm going to be talking about the theme builder in slides. So if you're someone who wants to make changes and have it apply to your whole slideshow, or if you want to create a template from scratch, or even create a template for your students to use with placeholders for images and text, then Slides Theme Builder is the tool that you need. So I should have started my timer. Sorry about that. Here we go. So you'll access the Slides Theme Builder by clicking either View and then Theme Builder, or it can be accessed by clicking Slide and then it's Edit Theme. Either way will open the same thing. It looks like that. So that's how you access it. When you're in the theme builder, the first slide that you see in the theme builder is the theme slide. Any changes you make to that will apply to all of the slides. That's the theme, so it applies to everything. So I changed the title text, it changed it on all of them. If I changed the body text, it changed it on all of them. If I changed the color of the text from the body text, it changes it on all of them. If I want to insert an image that applies to all the slides, then if I do that on the theme slide, it will apply to all of them. So I'm just searching. I could upload my own image by just search for Google G, and I'm going to put that down in the bottom right corner, and you'll see that appears on all of the slides. And then I can also change the theme background. So I can choose a color. I could choose any of the solid colors that are here, or put in hex code. So you can see that change the color of all of them that have the theme background, or I can also choose an image. So I uploaded an image, created it in Canva, just as the theme background there. And that's how you can change the theme slide. Below that, you'll see the layout slides. So each layout has a title. That's the title slides, the section, header, title and body, and so forth. Any changes I make on the particular layout, it will change it on any slide that uses that layout. So I'm repositioning the title on this title, and then I deleted that white box. And now I'm going to change the background. I'm going to choose an image. And then again, an image that I created in Canva, I'm going to bring it over and then reposition my title and subtitle to fit onto this new background. And then again, I could just showing you that you can change the background in any of your layouts, and it applies to all of the layouts, all the slides that use that layout. So here's another example of bringing in an image created somewhere else as a background. And then one more time, just so you can really see, brought in another image and it changed it. And then I just repositioned my text to fit, and we can do that. Now, this is how you add image or text placeholders. So the image placeholder, when you're in the editor, you just click the drop down for images, and then there's a spot for image placeholder. You can choose your shape. And I placed it there. Now, when I exit the theme builder, you can see what that will look like when you're editing the slide. You just click, and then you can choose to upload it from your computer or to search the web, and it will fill that placeholder. Back in the theme builder, now this is where you find the text placeholders. So you can add a body or a title text placeholder, you can add a subtitle placeholder, or you can add a text body placeholder. And then what it will look like on the slide is it's just those placeholders for those texts. And then lastly, you can change the colors of your slide using the colors button. So if I make a change, it applies to all of the places where that color is being used. So you can see that green now changed to that pink. Now I'm going to choose this accent color, and I'm getting colors from my color palette here, just copying the hex code, pasting the hex code, and you'll see that like that shape changed. And now I'm going to change this purple to this green just by copying the hex code over. And now all things that were that purple changed to that green. And so you can quickly change the colors and have a new color palette to your slides by using the colors button when you're in the theme editor. And that is the Google Slides theme builder. Now we are privileged to hear from Jared, who's going to talk about Google Applied Digital Skills.
So if you've been paying attention to the chat for the last few minutes, I'm purely going to give my presentation using Bon Jovi lyrics, just so you're aware. I don't think I could pull that off. But let's just get into Google Applied Digital Skills. Let's see. Let's see if it's going to let me advance. Colby, I'm trying here.
Do you have the remote link that I sent in Slack?
Oh, let me grab that. I do not have that.
Okay.
Why
If
don't
you want, if you want to share your, okay,
you just do it. It's easy enough.
Okay.
So one of the tools that many people don't know about Google is they have a kind of a curriculum library created called Applied Digital Skills. And you can see the URL for that is linked below. I'll go to it again in a little bit, but partly why they created this, go ahead, Colby, you can advance. Why they created this Applied Digital Skills is they found that a lot of people were, a lot of students specifically, were a little underprepared for workplace skills. Specifically, their technology skills were a little bit lacking. And so the Google engineers kind of wanted to create a library where they could create lifelong learning skills, how to use, some of the different Google tools in a way that could be applied regardless of whatever field you go into. So as we look at the next slide, you'll see this kind of shows, this is from a few years ago, but kind of the data suggesting what I'm talking about. 44% of kids between the ages of 18 and 25 didn't really believe that their education gave them the skills they needed. If you go from the employer side, they said 1/3 of their new employees don't have the skills that are probably required to really be effective in the job that they're in. So this is kind of one of those things where we've got this need, but we don't know that necessarily our education is providing some of those skills that they need. So Google designed this curriculum library called Applied Digital Skills. Go ahead, Colby. And so what is it? It's this library of applied lesson plans that you can use to teach anyone how to use some of the various Google tools. Let's look at it a little more closely. Go ahead. So this is a video-based online curriculum that really is based for pretty much any age group, but primarily focused on probably grades 3 through graduation, that teaches students how to basically develop their digital skills. Let's go a little further and take a look at it. So this is kind of what they propose. So these are some of the digital skills on the left. Things like, we want kids that know how to code. We want people who know how to do graphic design or publish a website. And in this education world, you can see these are some of the skills that we're trying to teach our students, like organization and the 4 C's. We want them to learn how to budget and how to plan, how to do research. And when you put these two things together, if we go to the next slide, you'll see that Applied Digital Skills tries to take both sets of these different skills and apply them with a curriculum focus. So whether you teach art or math or whatever your subject area is, they're going to design activities that meet both the digital skills as well as these practical skills. Let's go on and see the next thing. So as we move into this, when you go to the URL that I shared, go ahead and click on the next one, Colby. You'll see that you can actually search through a collection of various lesson plans or ideas, activities that people can use for students to go through and learn some of these different applications based on the content areas. So one thing that you'll notice when you actually go into it is it has very thematic lesson plans designed around themes from the month. So like a couple of months ago, it was Women's History Month. So lessons might involve how you can study Women's History Month at the same time that you're learning how to make a spreadsheet or build maybe a website. So as you go on the left-hand side of this screen, you can see that I can search for a specific topic, or I can search for lessons that are geared for a specific audience. We don't see it in this slide, but if you drop down the digital tool, it'll even talk to you about which Google tool are you looking to learn more about. Maybe you want kids to learn more about Google Sites or Google Sheets. We can go to the next slide then. And when you find a lesson, you can see what it looks like. It actually has a complete lesson plan that actually goes through and shows the objectives, and it talks about the different digital skills that kids will adapt to. Gives you a lesson plan time frame and all those different things that you'd expect from a curriculum lesson plan. If we go to the next one. So when you go to get started, I'm out of time, but we'll just look at the next slide here just quick. You can see when you go here, you can sign in with your Google email address and link it to your district account. And then if you'll just go to the last slide, I think, it asks you to tell them that you're a teacher. And then as we click on the last one, you will create a class. And when you create a class, that's where you can start to add lessons to that class. And then you can invite your students to join your class either with a code, or if you have a CSV file, you can upload it and put all of your students into your class. That will let you track the lessons and the different skills that the kids are involved in as you go through and do applied digital skills. I think that's it for me.
Thanks, Jared. And now we're going to move on to arts and culture, and we'll have Kira presenting.
Colby, I'm going to take over the sharing
Okay,
of the screen,
yep.
just so I can share the website.
Absolutely.
So, Google Arts and Culture. I also want to share the desktop. Ignore all my many tabs open. So to get to it, you just go to artsandculture.google.com, and when you go there, you will see the homepage. I know, ironic, right? The cool thing about Google Arts and Culture is that they are a digital collection of literally hundreds of museums from around the world. So it's a great resource for kind of finding supplemental materials, or if you want to incorporate more art, or if you want to make some cross curricular connections, Google Arts and Culture is a great place for that. So you can search by collection. So if there's a specific museum in the world that you want to draw from, you're welcome to do that. Please note that they're like actual museums. So I wouldn't turn your students loose necessarily in a museum unless you had previewed their collections, just because they might come across something that they're not prepared to see. But for you as a teacher, you can kind of sort by where the items are coming from. You can also sort by themes, and these are actually really cool. So the people that curate Google Arts and Culture have created different themes, kind of like what Jared said about, they try to be really topical. So like Women's History Month, or this month is Asian American Pacific Islander Month. And my computer is taking forever. But they'll have these themes that's a collection of like informational materials and artifacts, and all kind of centered around this common theme that they're exploring. So it's a great way to kind of, I don't know, if you need some new ideas, exploring the themes is a good place to start. Okay. So another thing about Google Arts and Culture that everyone loves is the Google experiments / Google their experiments, their games. So they use like coding and machine learning to combined with like humanities to teach different things. So you can sort the games by music or by adventure. You can do puzzle parties, so digital puzzles together. But these are just kind of fun, like fast finishers, or if you feel like they connect to your topic. When I showed these to the last group of teachers, I had some history teachers in the group, and this 3D pottery, you could sculpt your own historical pot. Like that was very exciting for them. There's like a GeoGuessr game where you can guess, combined with like Google Maps, you can guess places around the world. There was a link I was going to show you. Let me see if I can find it. Go to this link. Okay. So artsandculture.google.com/project/learn. And this is the website that I would have you go to if you were like, I don't even know where to start with Google. and incorporating in the class because it is so overwhelming. This link specifically gives teachers kind of a starting place. So they have a guide to Google Arts and Culture. They have some quick tips for you to explore. You can pick a subject area and see all the resources they have for music or history or chemistry, physics, art, biology, literature. And then you can also explore their lesson plans and resources. So kind of like what Jared shared with the digital skills, they're not quite as aligned. It's very kind of piecemeal, but they show you the possibilities of what you could do. Also included in Google Arts and Culture are different AR, VR field trips that most of them can work, I think, with Chromebooks. So again, something kind of worth exploring, as well as some how to teach students how to look at and understand art. And so that's Google Arts and Culture.
All right, thanks, Kira. And now we have our last product, which is Google Sites. We'll turn the time to Deanna.
Okay, hi. I'm going to let you drive, Colby.
Okay.
So, because I didn't get into the link, but I'll let you drive. So, basically, Google Sites is the Google web application that allows you to create websites. You can create breakout rooms with it. You can create digital portfolios for your students. It has great integration with all of the Google Workspace tools, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through it a little bit here. So you can go on to the next one, Colby. So to create a new site, then there's some gifts in there. You can go to your drive to create a new site and click on the plus sign, and it'll go down to more and sites, or you can actually go to sites.google.com and it will integrate that so you can get to do the waffle. Next one. Once you've created your site, you can add any kind of theme, title you want to your, there's themes over on the side. But what's really nice about the new themes that they have in Google Sites is that you can actually upload your own, or you can customize it within there. And you can also use Canva, which is really great, to create your banners across the top, as well as your buttons, and all of those things can integrate very easily into the Google site. So it's really nice that way. So next page. You can add pages and subpages by quickly going to the pages link that's over on the menu on the side. Click on the plus sign and then add your pages in there. And your pages will link. You can add subpages. You can simple drag and drop will allow you to move them around within the site itself. Okay, next page. And you can make it really engaging by adding different fonts, text, images, and because it integrates so well with all of the Google tools, you can see exactly what you're doing and change everything and add media and make it more customizable for you. And the themes are really easy to manipulate in this. So you can change the font colors, you can change the thing. They've added so much more to Google Sites. They never used to have that rich content editor that they have now, so that you can actually customize it and do that with your text boxes and things. So next one. And once you can also collaborate with your team. So you can add your team members. You can set it to Jordan District or anyone with a link. And then you can customize it by adding other people to collaborate on your site. You can actually allow them to collaborate as editors of the site or just viewers. And then you can also put an expiration date on it, which was really kind of cool to see when they don't have access anymore to your site. And the last slide that we have is when you've got everything done on your site that you want to, you need to publish it. And it's very important that you publish it. You can choose a unique name if you want to, or an easily recognizable name for your students or teachers or anyone that you want that way. But you do your site, hit publish, and then any changes, you just have to remember that any changes you make to your site from here on out, once you've published it, that you have to republish it so that those changes will take effect for anyone who's viewing your site. And that's it. So hope you'll have some fun taking a chance, looking around and creating something in Google Sites. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Deanna. And thank you all for attending today. As we finish up, do any of you that are here have any questions about things that we showed today or about any of the announcements? Anyone from the team have anything to add?
We just appreciate all of you joining us throughout this year. We've had a great year of doing these DTL webinars. This will be the last one that we do during this school year. So we appreciate your attendance, and we hope to be able to bring you more new content next year as we kind of jump back into the 23-24 school year.
And then I did remember that this wasn't linked before, but it's here now. So if you want more information about that Canva user event, there's the QR code you could scan, or yeah, that's the best way to get to it. I could put the link in, I guess. Except for it's not linked. Okay, so yeah, scan the QR code if you want information about that. But again, thanks for coming.